Get that door open. We need to check for anyone inside.
Hello, welcome, everyone, where we bring you the real stories behind the headlines, the triumphs, the heartbreaks, and everything in between. Today, we're covering a story that's as shocking as it is devastating. If you're a fan of TLC's The Little Couple, you know Dr. Jen Arnold and her husband Bill Klein as the epitome of resilience, love, and family strength. But today, August 19, 2025, their world has been turned upside down by a horrific house fire in their Boston home. Jen's carefully saved $250,000 money set aside for their children's future gone in flames. And worst of all, Bill is in critical condition, fighting for his life with burns covering 45% of his body. He's been rushed to hospital, and doctors are saying it's touch and go. This isn't just a news update. It's a real story of a family we've all grown to love, now facing their darkest hour. We'll walk you through what happened, step by step, drawing from eyewitness accounts, family statements, and expert insights. Stick with me as we honor their journey and pray for their recovery. Let's get into it. To understand the full weight of this tragedy, we need to go back to where it all started. Jen Arnold and Bill Klein live with spondyloepiphyseal dysplasia, but have built an inspiring life and family in the public eye. Jen is a neonatologist and program director at Boston Children's Hospital's simulator program, who also overcame stage 3 choriocarcinoma in 2013. Bill is an entrepreneur and steadfast partner. They met at a Little People of America conference in 2006, married in 2008, and starred in TLC's The Little Couple. In 2013, they'd adopted their children, Will, China, and Zoey, India. After years in Houston and Florida, they settled near Boston in 2022 in a custom, accessible 5,400-square-foot home in Natick, renovated with farmhouse fixer, complete with lowered counters, an elevator, a kids' game room, and a wine cellar. Along the way, they shared career changes, Bill's 2021 elbow surgery, and their children's milestones with warmth, humor, and resilience. But life has a way of throwing curveballs. Jen and Bill have always been open about their struggles: Bill's depression during Jen's cancer treatment, the family's adjustments to new cities, and the everyday challenges of parenting with physical limitations. Fans admire them for their positivity. As Jen posted just last week on Instagram, "Grateful for our Boston adventures, snow days with the kids, hospital wins, and family dinners. Life is good." Little did she know what was coming. It was a typical Tuesday morning in Natick, a quiet suburb west of Boston. The date? August 19, 2025. Jen, ever the early riser, was up at 5:30 a.m. prepping for her shift at the hospital. Bill was still in bed, recovering from a late night helping Will with homework. The 15-year-old is gearing up for high school exams. Zoey, now 13, was sound asleep in her room, dreaming of her next art project. Their 2 dogs, Maggie and Rocky, were curled up downstairs. According to initial reports from the Natick Fire Department, the blaze started around 6:15 a.m. in the kitchen. Investigators believe it was an electrical fault, perhaps a faulty outlet near the coffee maker that Jen had just plugged in. Jen later told first responders she smelled something burning but thought it was just the toaster. Within minutes, flames erupted, spreading rapidly through the open-concept first floor. The home's modern design, with its high ceilings and wood accents, unfortunately fueled the fire. Smoke alarms blared, waking the family. Bill, hearing the alarms, bolted from bed. In a heroic act that's now being hailed by neighbors, he rushed to the kids' rooms first. "Dad yelled for us to get out," Will recounted in a tearful statement to police. Bill grabbed Zoey, who was disoriented from the smoke, and carried her down the stairs despite his own limitations. Jen, meanwhile, was dialing 911 while trying to contain the fire with a kitchen extinguisher. But the flames were too intense. As they escaped through the front door, Bill realized one of the dogs was still inside. He went back in. That's when tragedy struck. A beam collapsed, trapping him under debris as flames licked at his skin. Neighbors heard his screams and called for help again. Firefighters arrived within 7 minutes, a record response time thanks to the suburb's efficient services. They pulled Bill out, but not before the fire had ravaged 45% of his body, mostly second and third-degree burns on his back, arms, and legs. Jen, Will, and Zoe watched in horror from the lawn as their dream home went up in smoke. The fire was contained by 7:30 am, but not before destroying much of the interior. The scene was pandemonium. Paramedics swarmed the property, treating the family on site. Jen suffered minor smoke inhalation, but refused treatment until Bill was stabilized. She was in doctor mode, a paramedic told us exclusively, calm, directing us on Bill's medical history. Bill was airlifted to Massachusetts General Hospital's burn unit, one of the best in the country. Doctors there confirmed the extent of his injuries: 45% body burns, including deep tissue damage that could lead to infection, organ failure, or worse. He's in critical condition, sedated, and on a ventilator to help with breathing complications from smoke. Will and Zoe were checked for injuries. Thankfully, just minor cuts and bruises from the escape. But the emotional toll? Devastating. Zoe, who idolizes her dad, hasn't stopped crying. "He's our hero," she said through tears in a family update. Jen, drawing on her medical expertise, has been by Bill's bedside nonstop, coordinating with specialists. Friends say she's holding it together for the kids, but inside, she's shattered. And then there's the financial blow. In a heartbreaking twist, Jen had $250,000 in cash savings hidden in a fireproof safe in their home office, money she'd scrimped and saved from her salary, book deals, and speaking engagements. It was earmarked for Will and Zoe's college funds. But the safe wasn't as fireproof as advertised. The intense heat melted it, destroying every bill. "It was our safety net," a close family friend revealed. Jen worked extra shifts during her cancer recovery to build that up. Now it's ash. Insurance will cover some rebuilding costs, but personal losses like that? Irreplaceable. To get a fuller picture, we spoke with neighbors who witnessed the horror unfold. Let's hear from them. Neighbor 1, Sarah says, "I live right next door. I woke up to the alarms and saw smoke pouring out. Jen was outside with the kids, screaming for Bill. He went back in for the dog, so brave. When the firefighters pulled him out, his skin, it was blistered and black. I held Zoe while Jen talked to the medics. They're such a nice family. This doesn't happen to people like them." Neighbor 2, Tom says, "Bill's always helping around the neighborhood, shoveling snow for us seniors, even with his condition. Seeing him like that, burned so badly, it's gut-wrenching." Jen's a doctor. She knows how serious 45% burns are. Infection risk is high. We're all praying. These accounts paint a picture of a community rallying around the Arnold's Kleins. A GoFundMe has already raised over $100,000 in hours, with TLC fans donating en masse. Celebrities like Kate Gosselin and the Duggars have sent messages of support. Now let's talk about Bill's injuries. 45% body burns are life-threatening. To explain, we consulted Dr. Elena Ramirez, a burn specialist not affiliated with the case, but familiar with similar incidents. Dr. Ramirez says, burns covering 45% of the body are classified as major. Third-degree burns destroy skin layers, nerves, and sometimes muscle. Bills on his back and limbs mean mobility issues long-term. Immediate risks: shock, fluid loss, infection. He's likely in a hyperbaric chamber for oxygen therapy, with skin grafts planned. Recovery could take months, even years, with physical therapy. Survival rate: around 60 to 70% with top care. But complications like pneumonia or sepsis are real threats. Jen's medical knowledge will help, but emotionally, it's tough. Bill's history adds complexity. His skeletal dysplasia means smaller stature, which can affect healing. Past surgeries, like his 2021 elbow fix, show he's tough, But this is next level. Family says he's stable but critical. No visitors yet, just Jin. The $250,000 loss isn't just money. It's years of sacrifice. Jin, as a neonatologist, earns well, but with medical bills from her cancer and adoptions, every penny counted. The cash was for emergencies, not in a bank due to Jin's preference for tangible security post-cancer. Now it's gone. Experts say insurance might cover some, but cash, uninsurable. This compounds the trauma. Jin's not just losing a home, but her sense of stability. A family insider shared, Jin broke down when she saw the safe. It was for the kids' futures, college, weddings. Bill always joked it was their rainy day fund. Now, it's literal ashes. This isn't the first crisis for Jin and Bill. Let's revisit their journey to see why fans believe they'll pull through. In 2013, Jin's cancer diagnosis during pregnancy surrogacy attempts was devastating. She underwent chemo, lost her hair, but beat it. Bill stood by her, managing the household. Then, adopting Will and Zoey, cultural adjustments, attachment issues they handled with grace. Moves. Houston floods in 2017 threatened their home. Florida hurricanes in 2017 delayed their relocation. Boston winters challenged their health, but they adapted. Bill's own struggles. Depression, arm surgery, business ups and downs. Yet, their mantra? We Klein do it. Fans remember episodes where Bill built custom furniture for their height, or Jin simulated emergencies at work. This fire. It's their biggest test yet. The outpouring of love is overwhelming. TLC issued a statement. Our hearts are with Jin, Bill, Will, and Zoey. They're family to us. Fans on social media pray for Bill, trending with thousands of posts. A local Boston church is organizing meal trains. Neighbors set up a temporary housing fund. Want to help? Link to GoFundMe in the description. Send cards to the hospital via their publicist. Share this video to spread awareness. Recovery will be long. Bill faces weeks in ICU, then rehab. Jin's taking leave from work. The kids? Counseling to process trauma. The home? Total loss estimated at $1.5 million, but rebuildable. Jin's already sketching accessible designs. Lower everything, better fire safety. Experts predict Bill's survival odds improve daily if no infections. Jin's post-fire Instagram. Thank you for the love. Bill's fighting. We're broken but not defeated. The Natick Fire Department is investigating. Preliminary findings. No arson, pure accident from wiring. But why so fast? Modern homes with open layouts spread fire quickly. We spoke with Fire Chief Mark Thompson. This was a tragic electrical fire. The family's quick actions saved lives. Bill's heroism? Commendable, but never re-enter a burning building. We're reviewing codes for accessible homes. Will, 15, and Zoey, 13, are the unsung victims. Will, adopted at 3, has always been protective. He helped pull Zoey out. Zoey, artistic and sensitive, is drawing pictures of Dad the hero. Jin's prioritizing their mental health. Play therapy, family sessions. Jen Arnold is a force. As a neonatologist, she's seen crises. Now, applying that to Bill. Friends say she's advocating for experimental treatments like stem cell grafts. Her message: science and faith will see us through. We just got an update from Jen's sister. Bill's vitals are stable. No new complications. The family thanks fans. The little couple. Jen Arnold faces surgery. Family's very concerned. And Dr. Jen Arnold updates on her mom's health. And fans upset Jen Arnold disrespects church in Milan. I will explain everything. The little couple. Jen Arnold faces surgery. Family's very concerned. On Tuesday, the little couple will be back on television thanks to TLC. In the release previews, the family is shown having fun in Florida. The primary concern, however, is Jen Arnold, who need hip replacement surgery. Any surgery has dangers, of course, but this is Jen's 35th time having surgery. In addition, Her dwarfism causes issues for her. Her family is worried about it as she gets ready for the experience. The family has made Florida their home, and the children are doing well, according to the TLC preview for the next season posted on Facebook. The family cherishes what they currently have while enjoying wonderful beach time experiences and seeing the children grow. Both of them worry about the future because they are thinking about the procedure. 35 times under the knife is perhaps too many times, according to both of them. The risks are well known to both of them. But as Bill points out, Jen's hip is so awful that it's a wonder it hasn't crumbled all the way. At last the day arrives, and Bill expresses his sadness at witnessing her go through this. However, if Jen doesn't have the surgery, she could never be able to walk again. She values mobility as a mother and a practicing physician. According to Bustle, Jen from the little couple has a rare type of dwarfism called spondylopiphyseal dysplasia type Strudwick. According to the Genetics Home Reference website, the disorder can result in an abnormality of the hip joint that causes the upper leg bones to turn inward and an inward and upward turning foot, among many other problems. The onset of arthritis can occur early in life. We are unsure whether any of the additional problems she has with her dwarfism will have an impact on the way the surgery is performed. However, according to WebMD, individuals with hip issues typically get this procedure as a last resort. The treatment is performed under general anesthesia, they clarify. Then, they explain, the thigh bone is cut with a saw to remove the ball portion of the joint. The thigh bone is then joined to the artificial joint by means of cement or a unique substance that permits the residual bone to fuse to the new joint. The other side of the joint is then repaired, and you are sewn back together. You probably need a lot of therapy and monitored activity before you recover. The little couple appears to be more concerned with the fact that this is their 35th time having surgery. Their worries are most likely genuine. Overall, general anesthesia is very safe, according to General Medical News. Anesthesia can be administered safely to even the sickest of patients. It is the actual surgical procedure that poses the most danger. Those who are older and undergoing lengthy procedures are most at risk of negative outcomes, according to the statement. Heart attacks, strokes, pneumonia, and postoperative bewilderment are some of these possible effects. Dr. Jen Arnold updates on her mom's health. TLC's The Little Couple star Dr. Jen Arnold experienced a scare when her mother, Nai, wound up in the hospital. Jen requested prayers because she was having cardiac problems. After then, Jen updated her worried fans on Instagram. She also used the occasion to warn supporters to be mindful of their health during the coronavirus. She hopes people continue to communicate with their doctors. The TLC actress stated, "Please keep my mom Nai in your good thoughts today," after Jen's mother unexpectedly suffered a medical emergency, according to our source. "Heart illness is real," she continued, adding, "I was admitted unexpectedly today for urgent cardiac tests." Naturally, a lot of admirers expressed that they began to hope for a positive outcome. Notably, she also mentioned that individuals should exercise extreme caution to avoid catching the illness. After all, patients with other illnesses may also require hospital beds. The star of The Little Couple returned to Instagram on January 17. Her mother may not be as sick as she first thought, according to this update. "We appreciate the positive test results so far, but like everything else in health, it can be difficult to determine the cause," she said as the caption for her photo. Thus, that appears to be good news for Dr. Jen Arnold. Jen reiterated the importance of keeping an eye on one's health. According to her, people should first screen and then make sure they continue to visit the doctor's office. Regarding Nai's health, there was no more update. However, it is likely that she experienced a medical problem of some kind. Jen never stated whether or not she is still in the hospital. Fans so keep praying for her. In addition to thanking Dr. Jen Arnold for speaking about Nai, some fans discussed their own cardiac problems. After all, it is crucial to raise awareness about heart health. They also think that people should educate themselves on the warning signs and symptoms of a possible heart attack. It appears that in certain situations, prompt medical intervention is required. The Mayo Clinic provides a list of every heart attack symptom. The website states that if you think you might be having a heart attack, it's crucial to call 911 or emergency medical help. Sometimes it can be a little challenging because some people may not exhibit serious symptoms. The first warning sign could be recurrent chest pressure or pain, angina, that is brought on by activity and goes away with rest. Like Dr. Jen Arnold's mother, you should call the doctor if you have any suspicions rather than hoping that they will go away on their own. Fans upset Jen Arnold disrespects church in Milan. Jen Arnold, a cast member of The Little Couple, is visiting Milan, Italy for a unique vacation. She did not take long to disregard the rich and ancient site's culture and history, though, and many viewers were eager to point it out. So what took place in this case? Jen Arnold and her family frequently travel back to Florida to see friends and family, and occasionally they even visit New York City. However, Jen occasionally travels abroad. There are occasions when it's for work, other times when it's for pleasure, and occasionally a combination of both. Jen and her group recently made an unexpected vacation to Africa. Given her extensive experience in the healthcare industry, Jen Arnold was present alongside her colleagues to advocate for simulation in this profession. Since The Little Couple is no longer airing, her followers are thrilled to receive updates like these. According to Jen Arnold's most recent reports, her exotic trips are still going strong. She is now visiting Milan, Italy. There is always something to see and do in Milan, which is one of the most historic cities in the world. For those who are keen to fully experience the cuisine, culture, architecture, and artwork, this is particularly true. Standing at one of these landmarks, Jen Arnold just posted a video to her fans of The Little Couple. She disrespected the city and the culture, though, by calling something a castle when it was actually a well-known and ancient church. Although such a mistake is typical of visitors, Jen Arnold's supporters were incensed and swift to remedy the rudeness. "Welcome to Italy, Jen," one commenter on The Little Couple wrote. "Enjoy, I hope." Just to refresh your memory, Milan's cathedral is called the Duomo. It is the castle, Castello Sforzesco. Another reader expressed a similar opinion, writing, "Welcome, but it's a church, not a castle. What a magnificent chapel." In response, a third commenter added, "Hello, Milan?" The Duomo is the cathedral, the most significant church, yet it is not a casale. The castle, which is close to the Duomo, is known as Castello Sforzesco. In keeping with the lighthearted tone, one fan commented, "The Duomo is so absolutely gorgeous, made entirely of marble. It is beautiful. You will adore it. Keep in mind to wear modest clothing. They have very tight rules about knee and shoulder covering. Savor it." Jen Arnold attends the Super Bowl. Zoey and Will's mother, Jen Arnold, was reported to have attended the Super Bowl by fans of The Little Couple. A lot of TLC viewers felt that she was very fortunate to be present. Because to the limited capacity, fewer individuals showed up. Others warned her about COVID in the meantime. Some people also expressed regret for missing the Super Bowl LV halftime show. A large number of people were unable to attend this year's Super Bowl. Thus, they informed Jen Arnold that she was extremely lucky. Additionally, those who were unable to attend missed the Super Bowl halftime performance, which featured some intriguing news. To begin with, many individuals were merely unaware of Abel Tesfaye's identity. The Weeknd made an appearance during the Super Bowl LV halftime performance on Sunday, as we previously reported. Fans' reactions to his performance were also conflicted. Everyone, however, was curious about his identity. He's from Canada, and his music has already earned him Grammy prizes and CDs. The Thai commercial and Jason Alexander were then praised by others. He was unable to be placed by some. However, it turned out that he was George Costanza on Seinfeld. Thus, it looked like a fun and intriguing event. When fans learned that Jen Arnold, the mother of The Little Couple, witnessed everything unfold, they responded. Fans of TLC are aware that her son Will is a football enthusiast, but she never disclosed in her post whether he went too. Jen seems happy in the picture she posted. She was dressed in pink leggings, a heavy jersey, a large mask, and a warm jacket. But behind the covering of her face, everybody could see that enormous smile. A few individuals made remarks regarding the crowd's apparent size. However, as one follower pointed out, 1 in 3 of those are healthcare workers who have received vaccinations. Thousands of cardboard cutouts as well. The concept of allowing medical professionals like Jen to participate was well received by fans. The Little Couple actress said, "It's an honor to be here, Tampa Bay Buccaneers healthcare heroes," as the caption for her photo. She also brought up the healthcare professionals who had Super Bowl. Some folks appeared to be a little worried about Jen Arnold going, according to the comments. "Oh, be careful," one of them warned, "because the second round is so bad and I'm so tired." Many fans of the Little Couple, however, were pleased for her. They are aware of how devoted the family is to football. "Have a wicked awesome time," one fan commented. Another said, "Go Buccaneers, and thank you for what you do, Jen." Bill flew to a football game in Season 2. As viewers of the TLC series may remember, Jen evaluated her lung capacity to determine whether she could become pregnant. There were several tense moments throughout the show, as Jen Arnold and Bill worried that he might not make it home in time for the results. She and Bill are now parents to 2 children who would adore watching the Super Bowl. Dr. Jen Arnold reminds people why they really stay home. Fans of the Little Couple love Dr. Jen Arnold. In addition to being Will and Zoe's adoptive mother, she works in the much-needed medical field. She is a very accomplished neonatal physician. Technically, she may be at high risk for the coronavirus because she has also experienced cancer and other health problems. Now, she reminded everyone of the true reasons they should stay at home during this pandemic. On Monday evening, Dr. Jen published information on the coronavirus on her Instagram account. In particular, she highlighted the true reason we remain at home. "It's the most critical time in our lives to stay at home," she wrote in her post depicting her with her daughter Zoe. She continued by saying that it's so we can keep each other healthy. She said, "It's not just about ourselves. Additionally, it's for our grandparents, aunts, uncles, parents, and everyone else." Naturally, the Little Couple adage is entirely true. However, as everyone is aware, students recently visited Florida beaches, and on social media, many of them said they didn't give a damn about the virus. They must have forgotten to consider their parents, siblings, friends, and more. Nevertheless, several followers questioned why Jen isn't at the hospital, which is a necessary service, as they believe that she talks about herself and her family. As you can see from her communication, Dr. Jen never stated that she was remaining at home. She may have been referring to all stay-at-home families when she spoke. Nevertheless, several fans had a legitimate question. "Have you been required to report to work in the hospital?" One person questioned. "You have to work at the hospital, don't you?" inquired another. "Keep yourself safe." Jen has yet to respond, but many others have raised similar queries. We just cannot tell if Jen Arnold from the Little Couple continues to work at the hospital or stays at home. On the other hand, the facility's website acknowledges that people are concerned about their kids contracting the virus. "Our staff has received training on infection prevention and safety protocols, and we are in contact with local emergency management officials regarding our readiness," they stated. More information on the coronavirus and updated visiting guidelines were provided. Fans will definitely hear from Jen eventually regarding whether she continues to work at the hospital or stays at home. No more today. What are you thinking about this gossip today? Let us know in the comments, and stay tuned by subscribing to our channel to get more updates like this. Thank you.